Hello, everyone. My name is Amelia Martinez, and for my Preparing for Community Awareness report, I will be presenting on a nonprofit agency serving Asian, Pacific Islander, and other underserved peoples who have been victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. So, first off, the purpose of this presentation is to familiarize myself with a local nonprofit mental health agency and discuss their target population, how their agency is organized, how they are funded, and any other additional information that will be important in our role as marriage and family therapists. Um, for this assignment, I was in contact with their clinical director, who is also an LMFT, to provide me more insight onto their goals. The agency that I chose is called My Sister's House, which is located in Sacramento, California. Their goal is to serve Asian and Pacific Islander and other underserved women and children impacted by domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking by providing a culturally appropriate and responsive safe haven, job training, and community services. Their mission involves to outreach, connect, support, and empower victims who have had barriers to get help, such as cultural issues, religious barriers, language barriers, or immigration. Although they are there to serve Asian and Pacific Islanders, they are accepting of other races as well. They don't turn people away. They are there to help anyone who has been a victim. My Sister's House is a nonprofit outpatient organization that has multiple services for their clients. 70% of their funding is through grant money. Per the clinical director, majority of the funding is from Cal OES, which stands for California Governor's Office of Emergency Services. The funds come in depending on what the needs look like, especially with the height of mental health awareness in recent years. For example, the clinical director mentioned that after the COVID-19 pandemic, there was an increase in anti-Asian hate. Cal OES helped fund My Sister's House with the Stop the Hate grant. The other 30% of their funding is primarily through donations. It's also important to note that their funding can only be specific to domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking victims and their care. My Sister's House also has 3 shelter programs, one emergency short-term, and 2 transitional programs. They also have a legal team and also a department that works with law enforcement. Their employees range in different educational backgrounds, such as in public health, sociology, psychology, and law. I thought it was very interesting that the clinical director that I spoke with was the only licensed marriage and family therapist working there. They do have third-party therapists that do come in and help. They do have a lot of volunteers, and the volunteers who work with the clients are trained in trauma-informed care and crisis intervention. My Sister's House offers a variety of services to their clients, which is also stated on their website very clearly, which is very important. One of the things that they do offer is a 24-hour helpline. It assists callers in identifying the signs of domestic violence and human trafficking, assist in crisis intervention, safety planning, give information and resource referrals and general support to those who call. They also offer a shelter program called Safe Haven, which is a much needed place for Asian and Pacific Islander women and children fleeing from domestic violence and human trafficking and sexual assault. They do offer a Women to Work program, which provides services that helps clients move towards a state of stability so they can take those next steps towards a steady job and become self-sufficient. The services have included providing health information and referrals, transportation, clothing, childcare, housing assistance, and employment and career guidance. They do also offer New Beginnings Women's Learning and Support Group, which are 2 weekly support groups. They provide information and resources to survivors of domestic violence and human trafficking, regardless of ethnicity. My Sister's House also participates in community outreach and education. It's to help raise awareness about the impacts of domestic violence and human trafficking in Sacramento's Asian and Pacific Islander communities and educate community members about services and resources that are available to those survivors and their allies. My sister's house also offers a 40-hour training program that helps educate participants about domestic violence as it pertains to Asian and Pacific Islander children, women, and children. The program prepares volunteers to work with our clients in a competent and culturally appropriate manner. My sister's house also works with leaders from various faith communities, this is Growing Hope, to raise awareness about domestic violence and provide them with the tools and resources to help domestic violence victims. Per our clinical director, their counseling services, their models focus also around CBT, DBT, somatic therapy, attachment focus, dependency. They work on dependency, especially those who have been in an abusive relationship. There are also art therapies that they do provide there too. A lot of the volunteers and a lot of the counseling is within a trauma-informed approach. And the clinical director also highlighted how telehealth services in recent years has been very beneficial, especially to women who have difficulty coming into the organization in person. So there are 3 other organizations that focus on the same goals and clients. So the first one is WEAVE, which stands for When Everyone Acts, Violence Ends. Their mission is to promote safe and healthy relationships and support survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and sex trafficking. Their main page also states that this is for all relationships, all genders, all ages, and all people all the time. The next additional resource that I did discover is called CASH, or Community Against Sexual Harm. Their vision is to empower our community through education, research, and support to combat commercial sexual exploitation and empower women to control their own destinies. Central to the mission of CASH is the philosophy of peer-based mentoring and harm reduction services. Their mentors understand commercial sexual exploitation and inspire hope because they have lived through the same experiences. And RAI is Asian Resources Incorporated. It's been the pillar of support for Sacramento's most vulnerable populations. Their commitment is to empower individuals through outreach, education, employment, essential services, and advocacy, and to help transform lives and strengthen communities. Some of the barriers that Asian and Pacific Islander women and children face when seeking help include stigma and stereotypes. I am a Filipino American, and I understand that within our cultures, mental health can bring shame to the family, so seeking help can be very troublesome for them. Per the clinical director, 99% of their clients do have a barrier of financial issues, and they do try to help them through that, especially the victims of a domestic violence relationship. Clients also have difficulty finding childcare when seeking help, and some of their individuals also are unsure about the legal system, so they don't try to look out for help because they're unsure what to do. Per the clinical director too, some of the barriers are that there are not enough resources for clients to come seek help. The wait lists can be long, the shelters can be full, and so it is important that mental health awareness still is strong and supported. My impression of my sister's house was very impactful and positive. I felt very proud seeing this as a resource as an Asian American woman. It's not very common to find these services that are very specific to my race. I specifically did not know about this organization before this course, and even though that their main focus is for Asian and Pacific Islander people, I also do love the fact that they do not discriminate against any other race. Per the clinical director that I spoke to, they do help anyone who are victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking despite their ethnicity. I love that they're very culturally rounded. Their 24-hour crisis line is actually a multilingual crisis line. They also include languages such as Mongolian, Lao, and Russian, to name a few. Um, and their training for their clients or to help clients is very culturally appropriate, which also highlights the impactfulness of a diverse and inclusive service they are. Their focus on women and on children emphasize the systemic approach to helping families in need. In conclusion, My Sister's House is a very impactful organization within my city serving victims within a marginalized community. Their multiple services and programs can help better the community and also bring mental health awareness to light in Asian and Pacific Islander cultures. Thank you for your time, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this organization with you.